You boys look like a weird heavy metal band.
Yes, we are a band.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you play?
Symphonic, post-apocalyptic, reindeer-grinding, Christ-abusing, extreme war, pagan, fennoscandic metal.
Right. Really interesting.
What up, everyone? DJ Anubis.
And DJ Neko.
Here with you on the Metalhead Radio podcast, doing our Maryland Deathfest review for the festival we went to last weekend. And again, think of all the years, we've been gone since 2009. We only missed like one or two of them, I think.
We've only missed one because I was away. And we didn't have anybody who wanted to come. So he was home alone.
And there wasn't a lot of bands at that time either.
So the others that didn't happen were during the COVID years. And last year they just said they were taking a break to recoup and reevaluate how they wanted to
move forward. Yeah.
Because we started in Maryland Deathfest 7, I believe, was our first one.
Let's see. It started in 2003. 8 maybe.
I don't know. I was looking at my first Maryland Deathfest shirt, and this is the first year I did not buy a Maryland Deathfest shirt, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, but we found a lot of other cool shit to get, which was nice. For a while, it was taking me a while just to find a shirt that I wanted.
Oh,
I mean, there was plenty of shirts that I wanted, just like either they ran out of at least 3Xs or they just didn't have them, and so, if I want to find something, I can probably go online and get it later on, but at this show, man, they just gone. And most of the other ones are always like 2X or lower just because, I'm old and kind of big. And most people that go are like kids and teens and skinny motherfuckers wearing skinny jeans and shit. But
the one shirt that I bought is a little bit small, but I think if I keep losing weight, I only need like 5 or 10 more pounds and it'll be.
Well, I was kind of surprised. There's one shirt I'll show you guys later when we go to talk about the band. It's 3X, but it fits beautifully.
And it looks.
And Neko keeps telling me I should go to 3X, but I'm always like 4X. But eventually I'll probably start because I do have some 3Xs in my closet that I'll have to start breaking out.
He's gonna have to because he's also lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I mean, in the last like 6 months, it's been like 30 pounds. So.
Well, before we get into any of the concert footage and reviews, there was some merch that I got. We're not going to go through all the merch because some merch we're going to do with the bands that we talk about. But there was some merch that I got that I'm going to show you all. Of course, I always collect these. You can't really see them here, but I have a bunch of Maryland Deathfest posters.
And some of them aren't even up because I got them framed.
Yeah, it's like just I'm running out of room.
And when we move to
our new... a lot of people are going to see this.
When we move to our new place, he's going to have an even bigger layer because we're going to... that's a nice one.
Yeah. They always have really cool art and stuff. And
it's like numbered. They make a limited edition. And not everybody... I'm looking at... There's like a bunch over here.
Yeah.
Remember when Jason... So our friend Jason came to visit us and he went to the fest with us. And he's gone now with us 4 times, I think.
3 or 4 times, yeah.
Because he came not last year, but the year before, because last year it didn't happen. And then twice. So it's his 4th time, I believe. He said so we were just talking about bands and stuff. And he's like looking at all the Maryland. He's like, oh, wait. Oh, there. Yeah, that's the year. Because he's looking at because the names are all on the posters. And
keep in mind, these are all kind of limited to like maybe 1,000 or whatever it is they have because they're marked, a lot of them at the bottom. Or my one here I have is 46 out of 150. This one might have it.
That's the Satyricon. The year Satyricon was.
They may have upped their game with that. I don't know, but early on they were very limited, so maybe they just stopped
because they were all not every. It's a person, it's an artist who makes them. You know, it's not, so they would do it, have it printed.
I don't know, that one there is 60 out of 250. So I mean, it used to be like I was worried I might not get one this year because
he always pre-ordered it.
Yeah, but I didn't. And
this Maryland Deathfest was kind of like, I don't want to say like a last minute thing for us.
It was
kind of last minute because we were like not sure what was going to be happening. Our cat got to get dental work done, and that's pricey, and we just were not like
thinking about moving. I was in between jobs, switching over, so money was kind of tight, and so we really had. I mean, it's always her. She has finagle things to get the money to work, and they worked out all right. And we found days, which nicely, we only had like the power plant and the marketplace, which was a beautiful setup by Maryland Deathfest. The guys did a good job this year sorting that out, how they work the outside stuff. But we didn't have to go inside the Ramsey soundstage. We could have, but like, you know,
that would be a different ticket.
Yeah. So the only thing it kind of lost out on was the pre-fest. And like, I think the following night, Wednesday, there was Metalhead. But I've seen them before at MDF, so I'm not like disappointed in that aspect. But, you know, for the most part, we got more bang for the buck with the bands that we see. And we had one particular friend playing in a band that we had to see, so that had to be like a given. But let's get into a couple of patches. Now these ones weren't picked up at MDF, but one I found in my vest as I was wearing it, and I had gotten it a while back going to the concert. And that was, of course, for Blackwater Holy
Oh,
Light,
that's right.
Group of girls.
That'll go good on your black vest.
Yeah. And then her and I think we did talk about a little bit the merch. Maybe I did, but we went to see Deathless on their album release party, and I got a patch that'll be put on my other vest once I get that altered and stuff. Now, as far as the patches that I got that were at the festival, I was actually very surprised. This was the only one I saw at the time. It's Devin Townsend's Empath, and that will go on my other vest as well because it's multicolored. It's not black and white. Replaced my Entombed. Her and I were talking about how I used to have these nice looking polo shirts, and at the time I didn't really have vests. I had all these patches, and so she was putting these on. I think you were sewing them on at the time too.
Yeah.
But once you sew them on like that, they kind of go to shit, and so I had to replace it, which I'll put on my battle vest. I got a Sweet Ass Benediction, which I'm very happy about, which I would love to see them at MDF one year as well. A couple other cool ones. One was this band was there. They were actually in Ramsey. I think Jason actually went to go see them, and that was Archgoat, which we've seen at the Autobar. Very cool band. Really liked them a lot. And you can never go wrong with some Celtic Frost. Another sweet looking patch. And then the last two I got, this one will go on my other vest as well. It's Massacre. Gotta love that.
Kind of looks like a guitar pick.
And then this will go on my black and white is Necrophagus. And whenever this guy puts out a new record, we'll be happy to hear from it because it's been like many years. Now for some of these cassettes that I found, which were really cool, a couple were a real big surprise, but I'm going to play little clips. I only kept it to like a minute for the clips, and same with the concert footage. I didn't want to like overdraw it, but I picked up Destroyer 666 Never Surrender record from 2022, and we're going to go ahead and play like a light little clip for you all to let you hear what it sounds like.
What's that little thing?
All right.
All right.
Destroyer 666 there. This next one, they just released a new record. This isn't the one here, but this is from 2020 from Gatecreeper called An Unexpected Reality. The way that the cassette is made, like I'm assuming this is actually from the out of the country. This isn't one that's usually made within, or even probably from the band themselves. I think
It's like a
it's
bootleg.
a legit one because it is wrapped up in cellophane. Unless these people are really good at duplicating this. So if the guys think this is not legit, let me know. I'd feel bad if I bought one but this dude was a legit vendor, so I don't think it's a problem. But I've seen stuff like this that the guy in Poland sometimes sells me. They're just made in other countries, and this is how they come. But I do have a little clip from them from this record. So let's check out some Gatecreeper.
All right. So this is from that album?
Yeah. I think we have.
Like we have.
I think they played this before.
Oh, at English Rock Bar. Okay. Nice.
So, yeah. And then the last one, this was the only one this guy had, and it was buried underneath some merch and clothes and stuff because he had cassettes in different spots. And
He was not very organized.
right. And he thought he left like a bunch of them at home, but he had all these cassettes in different spots. But this was the only one of this album, which is a classic by most people, is Demolic's Nesmith record. And so excited to have this on cassette. Really happy.
He's
Such a
up in
great
his
record.
cassette game. He already told me he needs another cassette holder. We found these at different like thrift shops, but if you're our age, you remember they have like little drawers and you pull them out and you can put your cassettes in them. And we have like a cool like record tape stereo that looks vintage, but it's not. It's got like the wood grain, but it's still that you could, if you
gets the job done.
It's nice. And it's modern too. So if you just want to use the Blu-ray or the Bluetooth, you can like play it through that.
The vinyl player, it has everything in it. It's really nice. We actually have this. I don't know if we still have it.
Yeah, it's in the back.
The old one where it looks like an old time radio, which is kind of cool. But the cassette player on that's a bit more dated, so it
doesn't really work well.
Yeah,
the record player still
probably
works.
eats your tape more than anything.
Yeah, the record
Which
player.
honestly, I don't play my cassettes much at all because I'm more about collecting them. It's not that the player we have wouldn't play them. It's just I
you
don't
degrade the sound every time you play it.
Yeah, it's nice for a collection. It's just that's how it is.
He's a collector. He
But,
listens to most things digitally.
Yeah, because I'm always moving to work or whatever. So,
but does not mean we won't buy them.
Yep. So here's some Demolic from the Nesmith record. So there you have it from my cassettes collected at MDF this year. So now we're going to start getting into the live acts that we saw. I will say that with Demolic, they did play MDF one year, but I missed them, unfortunately. But one thing that I find out, especially on the first day at MDF this year, is stupid shit happens to me all the time. I put some sunscreen on prior to getting out there because it's kind of warm and hot. Although we were lucky with the
shade,
the buildings giving some shade, which was really nice. But somehow I was still sweaty enough to where it got in my eye and like triggered me to the point that I kept rubbing it, and it was just so fucking annoying. And I tried washing it and all this other stuff, and it just was not giving up the ghost. I went quite a while, but then had to kind of leave earlier than I wanted to on the first day. But did catch a couple of bands that I wanted to really see. And first one when we got there was Defeated Sanity. Very fun band. I really liked them a lot. So we're going to give you a little taste of this. Like we're reliving the moment.
We're just there. I feel like I'm right there. You want to hear something hysterical? So do you see that ship that's behind the stage? It's a boat, right? Jason didn't realize we were that close to the harbor. I'm like, we walk by it every single time. It's like I did not pay any attention to it.
Yeah, it's surprising he didn't notice it all, even when we were just looking over the garage, because we parked in the parking garage to the right.
And it was kind of like 4 floors up.
Yeah, you can see down and see over to the harbor and stuff. But yeah, MDF is like a real big festival, and it's a big thing now. It's been a big thing for.
They closed down a street in the inner harbor, so.
Yeah, I mean it's great. Like, and it's, it's funny because there's a lot of people of color in Baltimore, and so and just tourists in general, they're all coming down. People are like, because there's a fence along the side on the left, like if you're looking at the video straight like we are, to the left of that, where you walk around to walk into the venue, as long as you have your pass and everything, multi-pass. People would just stop, just families, and they would look through the fence and they would see these guys playing, and some people were really getting into it. Like, they were having a lot of fun, even up in the garage.
People are like looking over to see.
Yep. And so, like, it's interesting to them. And, it's kind of cool to see people take interest in that. It wasn't like as scary as they try to make.
Yeah, a bunch of over 8,000. Is it 8? Was it 8,000 or 10,000 people
this year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Probably 10. Like, it was pretty packed, man. Like, despite a lot of it selling out, at least on the inside part of it. Like, in fact, for a while, we thought that the Thursday was sold out until they added more tickets. So that's kind of good, man, because I remember a couple years prior, especially when they were doing Edison a lot, they had a hard time getting people, because I think it had more to do with the setup.
I do too.
And the way that you had to go back and forth. Like, I think people were just tired of that. And so
they probably took a lot of people's opinions.
Yeah.
And people are not afraid to share their opinions. There's a whole Maryland Deathfest page that people, that's how I got my ticket. I was like, all right, looking for Friday, Saturday, Sunday power plant. And they're like, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened up more tickets online. So he just bought his online.
Yep. So we went this year, was it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Mm-hmm. Those were the days we went. So
Wednesday night was the pre-fest, and then Thursday we just didn't go.
Right.
We made this decision based off of, we had an all venues, all access pass every year. And there were years where by Sunday or me, one time I didn't go.
Just beat.
We were just tired. You're out in the sun for 5 days.
I mean, it worked out for the most part, because I think the first night for Friday, we didn't have to really arrive till 5 or
Yeah,
6.
they also on Friday and Sunday the gates opened later than they used to. So they used to start a lot earlier and they would cram more bands.
Well, it just
And I
depends.
feel like
Well, it depends on who you wanted to see. Like there were plenty of bands that opened up around 3 or 4, but
no, but they used to open every single day at noon. Remember?
well, and some of that at the time, if you remember, Edison lot like was just getting people
Mhm.
through. Now they just kind of like, I didn't get pat down once, and that's good. I mean, it means people aren't bringing weapons and shit into here, but I didn't see any like violence in terms of
Mm-mm.
fighting or
No,
harm or anything. So whatever setup they had worked, and people were being.
they have a different security group this year than they did before, and
But
they seemed like a lot of fun too because
oh
they
yeah,
had to deal with a lot of crowd surfers, a lot of very large
we'll get
men.
into the forbidden set in a minute, but so yeah, so like Thursday or Friday we went in about 5, close to 6.
No,
Saturday was the earliest day because Volst was playing early,
we
and,
love a Volst.
and then Sunday was the best because we didn't have to be there like 7. So like it was
It was
just
all
depending on the
evening.
bands that we
Yeah, it was
wanted
all
to
evening
see.
bands, but they did. We were there until like midnight because
Yeah.
we stayed for all the later bands. But I also I do think because I'm looking at some of these posters and you have like all the big names kind of on the front on the top,
Hmm.
but they have like a little tiny paragraph and they've done this before where they just like give these smaller bands, maybe they're just coming through on a tour but they only get like a 20-minute set.
Well, it
And
happens with the big bands too. In fact, I think Bath was actually on tour when he did this show, so it was like a stop, and then Forbidden was
they
coming
just
back
came
from
back from Germany
and
from
then they
another
did
tour.
this,
They're
so-
doing a world tour right now.
And we had talked about before. If you haven't caught it on our channel, we interviewed Norman Skinner a few months back, and we actually informed him about.
We're like, you
Maryland
got to
Deathfest.
do Maryland Deathfest. It's not just death metal
And so
anymore.
he managed to talk to him and get a hold of him, and the guys got on the bill, and we were really excited to meet him. We did, and we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, it's a lot of these other bands. Some are more local. Weekend Nachos always plays there.
Jason, like
Pig Destroyer is usually one that will play a lot. Dying Fetus usually, but it's interesting and fun. But one band that I did want to see also on day one was Monstrosity, and of course this is Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse's former band that he started with, but he wasn't with the project now. But they were really good live, and so let's take a little listen. Guys, I'm the biggest Corpse Grinder.
Now, see, this is over at Power Plant.
Yeah.
The other one was Market Street. And this is actually a venue. They not just Maryland Deathfest plays here. They have like, but I think it's cool that we had the availability of 4 different stages, all within a block of each other.
Yeah.
Feels like I was just there.
Yeah. And I should have pulled up an old clip for our next band because a few years back we went. This is a band I wanted to see for sure, and when we got there, it was about 3:00 in the afternoon, and there was hardly anybody there waiting for this band. And so, like, we were like, literally, it was like her, I, and a few other people in front of us. Like, we were really close for that particular show. And so, it's of course a Volst from Spain, and
It's been a while.
but the great thing about it was they started playing, and as the set was going along, they played for maybe 30 or so minutes. Like I think that's
the first time.
And you're only given so much time, but as they were playing, like after about 2 or 3 songs, the crowd just started getting bigger and bigger, bigger. And Dave Rotten, the vocalist, who also vocals for the death thrash band Holyside, is a very funny character. Like he really gets into music. He's a great performer on the stage. And in fact, this year he even jumped down near the crowd while he was singing.
He did that last time too, but the stage was much smaller, so there wasn't like a guardrail. Like he was playing, there was a guardrail, but before he was like in the stage, like right next to us, and we're like, yeah.
But there was a nice funny clip where he's like, something like, "How you doing?" And everyone's kind of young. He's like, "Now with 2 balls,"
and then we're like,
yeah. So he's a character.
I think too. He's Spanish, and the Latino community in Maryland really comes out for the Maryland Deathfest. Even I'm sure some of these people are from out of town too, but like we live in a very, I don't know what the right word is. It's like our neighborhood, there's Latino people, there's white people, there's black people, there's Muslim people. It's like a very mixed area. And when the death metal, it's like all the Latino people go to Maryland Deathfest, and he noticed it, and he was like, "Wait, you?" And then he starts speaking in Spanish, and then all the Latino people are like, "Yeah."
Right.
So it was kind of fun, like to see that there was such a strong that one guy, the Destroyer 666, this was, like 10 years ago, but when Destroyer 666 played Maryland Deathfest, he was this short little Latino guy, and he had Destroyer 666 tattoo on his chest, and he like rips off his shirt, and he's running around the pit, and they're like, yeah. So it is the Maryland Latino community.
Let me tell you something about Slayer fans. In this case, Destroyer 666 fans.
Well, it's just funny. Well, not funny, but I think cool.
Oh, it's blast. And I know the band, that's like the purpose. Like you sit there and you show them, and they're like, they really get a kick out of that.
And I love to see like they come out for the metal support.
But this year, Volse again, 3:45. They got the lucky number. Maybe they said, you know what, this is our time slot. We're gonna open the show. We're gonna be the best band there. Watch. So here's a little taste.
And it was packed already.
Oh yeah, it was way different than the last time they were there. This time, shit was packed.
I couldn't get close enough. I had to like go over to the same. Oh, I hate being short. That's my favorite thing, doing the windmill and singing.
I know. I don't know how he fucking does.
That's what Jason, he's like, because Jason had never really heard this band. And he was like, how the hell does he do that? I'm like, I don't know. He's got such stage presence. You see button-down suit guy coming from work over there in the circle pit, sounding it right there. Just came from work. He's like, I'm going to Maryland Deathfest today. And one thing that Jason, he's like, he'd never really listened to Volse, and I'm like, it's your typical death metal, and Jason's a little bit more doomy, and I'm like, but this guy just puts on a show. Like, and I'm like, it's not like a show where you're thinking like a Monomarth and they got the big ship and everybody. It's just he has so much energy that he is like putting his all into his, like Barney.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, that's the thing. Like when they started, like when we saw him the first time, it didn't matter that there was only like 12 to 15 people in front of them. They were performing as if they were, in fact,
12,000 people. Yeah.
And so I'm sure they really appreciated this time around where there was just like a mass of people. Like it was past us.
You couldn't it doesn't give a good idea of what that crowd was because we were trying to get as close as we could, so we had to kind of get to the side. So we're like next to the fence area, and we're trying to see the stage.
Yeah, so like I'm just happy for those guys. I love them a lot. I like their music.
I'm happy they came. I mean, I don't even know if if Maryland was the only stop on their tour to get in.
Yeah, I don't know what the tour is for a lot of the bands. Like, I don't think they were touring the U.S. or anything, but, getting invited or, whatever is a big deal. And sometimes it's all based upon money. Like we kind of learned some things. A friend of ours,
He's kind of
Eddie,
doing.
he actually was helping out this year with them, which was kind of cool. But he would explain that they have to do certain things for certain bands because it's part of the package or contract that they sign.
They'll pay for flights, pick them up.
So a lot of times when Neko talks about the bands on the smaller part of the poster, they're not the ones that really get that kind of deal. They're just saying, okay, you want to play, but you've got to fit your own travel expenses and whatever, but you'll get the exposure you want. That's usually how it works for some of these other bands, and so that's just cool as shit. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that the festival's going on still. I thought they were pretty much going to be done with it a couple of years ago, but they managed to.
That's why they took off last year. They said, we don't. It is a business. This is what this guy does full time now.
Well, a lot of it's just a hard time getting like the set they had this year is the one they should just go with going forward. As long as they plan it out, like they've already put some bands I think are going to be on the bill.
They're going to do it next year. I think Jason has already bought his ticket. He said.
Yeah, somebody bought like the pre
pass. It's you. They only release a small amount, and that's what Jason did last year too. And we're like. Again, because we're going to probably be moving out of state, so we'll see how it goes. But
plus, I'm always wanting to see like what bands end up on the roster. Like occasionally, you'll have a band like at the last minute can't make it. I've seen that happen. You can't control that.
Oh, that's why Jason didn't go. So Jason had the all access pass and the pre-fest, but Thursday. He only had one really specific band he wanted to see, and we weren't going Thursday. And he's like, they canceled at the last minute. They couldn't. I don't know if it was like a visa issue or something, but he said, I'm not going to go down there because
that happens a lot. I think 1 year Marduk was supposed to play MDF and they couldn't get in or something. It was something weird, but yeah, it happens. Okay, so now. We're going to go with Vomitory. This was my first time seeing them live, which was a lot of fun. This was a point where these next two bands where we were at Power Plant. We tried to get our little bar seating, which is actually kind of perfect because you just face right at the thing, but we were kind of behind that. And it was really packed. A lot of people this year. And I guess that's the one good thing about when they had you going back and forth. People could get back in time to take up all the seating.
And when that's the other thing... too, if you want to get close for like a favorite band, you gotta kind of cut your time short because we didn't do it for a bath, and a bath is huge, so like we didn't cut it close enough to get like a super close spot for a bath, and I was really sad because I love a bath.
But here's a little taste of some Vomitory.
Starting to get dark.
Yeah, this is towards the end of the night on Saturday.
And I also made him wear a hat on Saturday too because it was sweaty, and I'm like, if you wear a hat, or if you wear a sweatband, wear a hat. Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that while we were watching it. How it lit up in the back.
All right.
Because sometimes you're listening to the band, but you're also like people watching.
Yeah.
So you're watching people enjoy themselves. Like so, you can hear the band without being allowed in the power plant pit. And the power plant area is a lot of restaurants and bars. They even had some like other smaller bars.
Yeah, it's actually a very cool setup. It's sort of unintentional because it's intentional for power plant, but for a metal fest, it's not really intentional. So you have to understand, so just imagine you have this big ass street and then you have a main street, which is Howard, I think, that cuts through.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side is that Pratt going the other way because they're one way. But you have these two streets, and power plants here and marketplace is over here. Now, marketplace, they had to set up everything. So you have a fence, you have the stage,
the
vending
foods
area
and stuff. They didn't put
now,
any
power
food.
plant is set the way it is. Like you saw that's all set up. It has the bars, the restaurants, and then if you're facing the stage, the left of it's Ramshead, which you can walk in. That's a whole other venue. Now on Market Street, if you're looking at the stage and to the right, the sound stage, which is another venue.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to the location and everything that's set up here is perfect because whatever you wanted to see, you could just zip, 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 and you're there. And then even we went to a place called Lucky's to eat a couple of times, and now granted they had their own music inside that they were playing, but if they had shut it off, you could hear the bands outside. It would be no problem.
We just wanted a non porta potty.
Yeah, that
and
food,
food,
cooler, food, whatever.
But outside of Lucky's too, they have outside seating, and like there's an outside bar of Lucky's. Then you have Line and Kugel's beer garden, and then upstairs you have Angel's Rock Bar, and then you have PBR, which is the bull riding bar where it's like the mechanical bull. And yeah, I've done that before. It's really funny. And then there's a pizza place, and all of these are and then Tin Roof, we used to go to. Tin Roof was closed. They didn't open up at all, but they're like a karaoke bar. But when we were doing, and we haven't done this since before COVID, our Bronco group would meet at Tin Roof because it's like a decent sized bar. They have food, but they would put on the big screen the Bronco game for us, and all the Baltimore Bronco people would watch the Bronco game there. But they didn't open. I think they purposely stayed closed because they're like, I don't know if it's. And Lucky's didn't do the karaoke either because they do karaoke's on Saturday nights. But it's all set up, and there's all this outside seating. So even if you did not buy the marketplace to get into the pit, you could still go and hang out there. At least that's the way I understood it, because there was a lot of people where they had a person who was standing at the pit entrance to get into like where you watch, and they checked your wristband, but they were just doing like a security check and an over 21 check as you were walking in to Marketplace. But when you go Power Plant, but when you go to the actual stage, they were checking to see if you had the wristband. And what's also cool, there's like an alley next to Tin Roof that they had blocked off, and that's where they had like I called it vendor alley. Anytime we were down there and Jason would text us, be like, where are you guys? I'm like, we're in the alley, we're in vendor alley.
Vendor alley.
Because they just figured it out, like what they needed to shut down to, obviously keep people safe and have the area set up. And it was probably their best setup that they've had since Sonar. I know one year they were only doing Ram's Head and Soundstage. It was all indoors, and they didn't even use, I don't think the outside power plant stage was even built yet. And this was probably like 8 years ago that they did this, and it was probably their lowest attended death fest. Everybody likes the outdoor element, but so that's kind of how like the Edison lot came back.
Yeah, it's always a trick.
Because I loved it.
I saw people complain about certain bands, and there was like this kind of like little ongoing fight about, well, this band doesn't like playing outside because their sound is more equated to being inside. So,
or they have like
Ruins of Beverast. I've seen them both times outside and inside. Inside they're much better. At Ramshead, it's more their element and their atmosphere. Take probably would have benefited from being inside instead of outside. But death metal is more of an outside element type of band. Thrash is more of an outside element type of band. You can do both, but the reality is like some bands, just because of their sound and what they do, is sometimes with the atmosphere.
And some bands, they say they only play inside.
Right, but they don't always have that choice. And so there's always this kind of like...
Well, that's what we ran into when Sonar, they Sonar used to be a club in Baltimore, and that's where Maryland Deathfest was for several years. And they incorporated an outside stage and an inside stage, and then pretty soon 2 outside stages. And it was kind of like where the Edison lot is now. The Edison lot is literally a parking lot. It's people park there and then they get on the train to go to work, or they get on the bus. It's like a commuter lot. So it's kind of like where Sonar was, but Sonar was actually a club. And the inside people were very specific, like we play inside for this because it was a small setting. I mean, we even saw Devin Townsend there one time, didn't we, at Sonar? We saw Vader there in the small room.
Saw Vader, and they were there with Swashbuckle.
Vader, huge band. There was like 4 people that showed up.
Well, it was like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
But again, they're a band, like we've met Peter, like they will play as if they're playing a festival. It doesn't matter, just like 20 people there. Like,
so it's
they bring
like
the energy. That's when you know you have a band that cares about their career and what they do, rather than, oh, there's only like 5 people, I'm just not into it.
They could have easily canceled, you know.
They could have said, fuck this shit, we don't want to play this.
But like what the last year at Sonar, the new owners remodeled it into like a club. So there was like no stage. There was a giant bar in the middle of like a dance floor.
It was like almost like a last minute. They had to redo everything because
they made a tent, and that was the inside for the inside bands to play, and they were not happy.
Yeah. All right. Before we get to the last day of bands, we're going to talk a little bit about Forbidden. Now, as I said, we did an interview with Norman Skinner, the new vocalist for Forbidden, a while back, and it was shortly after he dropped the bomb that he is becoming the singer of Forbidden. And so they just got back from Germany. He's been doing really well. They've been having a lot of fun.
I've been following him like very religiously.
Nicest guy ever. We saw him right before they went on. Yeah, fangirl over here.
Mm-hmm.
Norman!
Yeah, he came right over, hugged us, and he was like, oh man, it's my daughter's prom. And like, that's because I follow him on Facebook. So like I see his regular life pictures, and I follow, and he's really busy with with Forbidden and, am I saying it wrong? Niviani.
Yeah, I think he says it could be anything. So whatever you want it to be.
And so he's busy with, because that's his other side project, and he has his Skinner band too. But he said that they were releasing another Niviani. So
yeah, he's still doing the other stuff. So like, but I'm curious what they're gonna do with Forbidden. Like, I'm pretty sure they're working on new material. I hope
they did the Alcatraz festival not that long ago. They were in Germany. I forgot the name of the festival. I think they're taking like a quick break because that's a lot of travel.
But they all have families and stuff too, so and they're all very cool. Like, we saw them and it was so fun. I hadn't seen this band myself since 1990 when they toured with Death Angel and Sanctuary.
That sounds like a good tour.
It was, well, Death Angel was just released Act 3, and I believe it was them, Forbidden, and Sanctuary is the opener, and rest in peace, World Dane. But that show was amazing. It was at called the Gothic Theater in Denver, I believe. So just a long time ago, man. But they were all youngins. Of course, Russ, the original singer, was still with Forbidden then. But I'm happy for Norman, man. He's a really cool guy. I've known him before even this happened for him here, and I'm just really happy for him. He's a super cool dude, fun to talk to. Did a great job. We're going to show you a little clip of that.
It's got some pipes.
But Neko did manage to get some stuff herself. I could not find one my size, of course. That's how it always is with me. But she managed to get a Forbidden shirt. This is actually the same symbol that was on their drum set.
And they had like the blue and red skulls, like tapestries. And it's downstairs, or it's upstairs in my purse. I forgot to take it out. I got a pick.
Yeah.
And
but I will say this, the very cool thing about it, and they mentioned while they were playing that they weren't playing anything past Twisted Into Form. So like, it was only the first couple of records that they played from, because it was a special thing for MDF. So if you didn't make it for MDF this year, you're lost.
You're lost.
She also, because the pick fell down by the security guard, which you'll see the security guard for a hot minute in front of me. I'm like, dude, I need that. Get that. And he gives it to me, and I, of course, or gave it to Neko. I can't remember who it was.
And I put it in my purse.
And then after they finished, we were like, we're trying to get the set list. Everybody's going to trying to get the set list. And so I said, dude. And of course, the guitarist, he's like pointing at her. Now, he probably didn't know if she was looking or not. So, yeah, give it to her. It's coming to my house anyway. And of course,
I think he saw that we were,
yeah,
friendly with Norman. So he was like, well, definitely, they deserve it.
Yeah, so it was really, really good.
Look at it.
There was even a guy, I think, that came up and took a picture of this from her.
Mm-hmm.
I think he runs a website where he kind of updates all the track lists from certain venues and concerts from bands that he plays. So I think I saw something like that somewhere, but very cool. And
set list. I've also gotten Napalm Death set list a few times. So I was like,
gimme.
I haven't seen Napalm Death in a few years. The last time we saw them was when we got the VIP seats. That was kind of cool. I felt very special. We were like right next to the stage, and we had like a little table, and you're like, boom, right there, locking eyes with Barney.
Yep. So here's some Forbidden live. That's me yelling.
That's so great. It was the really long-haired guy who gave it to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's his wife, the one that was taking all the pictures and stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite song? Now, I have to say this. Norman was very unhappy with the sound guy. He made a post about it, and he's like, it's not just me. He was like, he's like, it's not just Forbidden who is a little upset with this sound guy. Remember, I was like, there is a buzz coming from that monitor right there.
But it had some weird things happening because those banners you were talking about, there was a lot of wind picking up. And so they had to actually weigh them down because they're on these like brackets that you can move along. And so the wind was pushing them to either out of place or falling over. So they were tying them to the thing and putting these weights down on them. So
but he was saying, Norman was like, during sound check, we told this guy, there is a buzz coming from this, and I'm like, I can hear the buzz, but because we were right up front, and he put it out there. He's like, this guy did not listen to us. He did not cooperate with us, and he's supposed to be like the sound manager for this stage. And it wasn't until somebody else with Maryland Deathfest like actually said, dude, like, do your job kind of thing. And I guess Norman spoke with other people playing at that stage and said that
there was a couple of times that I heard, but it was mainly at power plant too. There was like some feedback happening, and so like they were kind of annoyed. But that's the thing; like it's always interesting with any venue.
We've run into that with Ram's Head too. Ram's Head,
but when you think about it, most times. Like when you're on tour, you have your own sound guy. You use their equipment at the venue, but they kind of have their own sound guy who knows what they're trying to get out of their sound system. They're familiar with what their settings are, etc.
Oh, and that was the other thing Norman said. He said, because he has his own rig, right?
Yeah,
like they made him. Yeah. He's like, usually at these bigger festivals, they make us use their equipment like to plug in, but they told me I had to use my own. And he had like the ear monitors and like and so he was just a little disappointed. He said the first couple of songs his vocals were low and there was a buzz, and they kept saying like, turn the vocals up, fix the buzz, turn the vocals up. But then after when we got to Step by Step, like that sound was perfect. Like it took them though 2 or 3 tries to get the sound, but they were doing a sound check. Like we were there during sound check, and their buzz was there. And so I can understand being a band and you want the best sound for your band, and you're like, I hear it, I know I'm not deaf, I hear it, and you're not listening to me when I say there's a buzz. So I feel for them.
But they, again, man,
They
they
sounded
all
great though,
brought the
regardless of the
energy.
buzz.
They were kicking ass. Like I thought they were definitely
And
one
there
of the
was
better
a
acts.
lot. I mean, there was this band, I wasn't expecting the kind of moshing that was happening. They were just kind of doing like the running in the circle kind of thing, and it was just like light moshing.
Well,
there was a lot of
crowds.
crowd surfing during
And
Forbidden.
somehow, and like we talked about, these security guys, very professional, doing a good job. How they did it, some big ass dude,
Bigger than you, bigger than you,
bigger than me.
not
They
that you're
got him up and brought him over, and like he crashed over and like squashed a couple of security guys.
but they got him
because they're trying to keep these people safe as they're coming up over this railing
instead of just hitting
right,
the
and
pavement.
then they send them on their way. It's the usual thing, and the most people that come over, thin chicks or thin dudes.
Not this guy.
It's usually the same dudes. They're always like
there were a few of the same dudes, and one of them was the 400-pound
sweaty
dude.
little Mexicans. Not to be offensive, it's funny. I love it. They got a lot of passion, which is
and
great.
they're tiny. Not this dude.
Yeah, and so
but
this
good
dude
for this
was
dude though.
enormous. Like how they got him up, I don't know, but kudos to the group because I didn't see until like it was too late, and they were like,
so Forbidden. Again, because I'm really bad on social media, but there are a few that like how you can like favorite or star or whatever on Instagram or Facebook, and they're one of my like starred people, so they always show up first on my feed. And I was checking it out after their set, and they interviewed the big black dude in the middle, who is the security. Like if you play that again, you can see the big black dude in the middle, who's one of the securities, and the lady who I believe she is the wife of the guitarist, the long hair guitarist. And she's like, so what did you think about all the crowd surfing? He's like, keep bring them all, keep crowd surfing, we got you. And I was like, that is so amazing, because we have been there. What was the year that what's his face was playing with his other band, and they were making everybody like remove their spikes, remove their pins.
Phil's ensign was down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and again, he's a big band. He's one of the headliners, and that those security people were given that directive, and they were kind of dicks to everyone.
It was just a mess, though. That whole fucking thing is it was both good and bad. So we were there early to see Speed Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
We missed them
because we were in line for 2 hours.
People were waiting in line to get into the area. So they did do us a solid and bring Speedwood back a couple hours later.
They were willing to come back, and they're like, sure. And we love them because they're awesome. And I really don't think they play anymore.
No, they broke up, unfortunately.
But they're from
Denver. I still have that patch on my other denim.
And I still have their 6 + 6 = 18 Hale Payton shirt, because they're from Denver and they love the Broncos too. So it's like an orange shirt. But my point being is, they had a security team there that was like not organized. They were not doing like what they should be doing. This different security company, like they had people posted everywhere. They had
sometimes you'll see security guys like kind of like start looking at the band and watching. These guys were on point. They were just doing.
They had people in the crowd too.
Yeah.
They had people at the gates. They had people doing. So I have to give props.
And they were all friendly. Like you didn't run into any assholes. They were just all friendly, doing their job.
I remember.
Saying, hey, enjoy the show.
There was somebody who lost their wristband there because we had to get a new wristband every day because of the type of ticket we had. Somebody, their wristband, I guess they tried to loosen it and they loosened it too much and they lost their wristband. And they went to like the security booth where you go to get your daily or whatever pass. And they're like, well, we can look it up with your name and your ticket number. And they seemed very polite about it. And I'm like, they could have been like, oh, you fucking lost your, because they tell you to, don't take this off. This is but accidents happen.
Yeah,
I mean, like, especially if you've got like one on for 5 days and it's like cutting off your circulation and you're doing everything you can to like loosen it up, and then you loosen it up too much. But I just have to say, like, I think we kind of unlocked a formula because we are getting older. I said to him, I was like, going to Maryland Deathfest in your 20s is way different than going in your 40s. 100%.
Well, even when we first started going, like
I was in
when
my
I was
20s.
heavier, I had more energy. Like it's just the age, man. Like whether you think I look 54 or not, my body feels it. My mind tells me I'm nothing but chaos and fun and all this other stuff.
But you are nothing but chaos and fun, honey.
But just the body, man, can't do it. Like it's hard, and but I do enjoy the time. I enjoy being there. I enjoy meeting and seeing these bands and people.
And we always run into so many friends.
Like, you guys know so many people, and that's just kind of this relationship we built with like local bands and fans of like here in Maryland. So once we move, we're going to lose a lot of that because we won't be within driving distance as much anymore. Like it's a couple hours away.
It's going to be about 3 hours away. And, if you're talking going down to DC, that's a whole other.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot different.
We're going to have to start like a hotel budget or something.
Right.
Because and you know what?
Yeah, it's not so bad because, we've done that when we went to G-Fest. That was fun. That was only for a couple of days. So it's something that's doable. Like you can do it, but it's just you have to prep for it, figure out. Like we got lucky this year, the days that we wanted, we got, and because it would have been sucking if I couldn't see Forbidden. That would have been a big shitty.
He knows I can find things and get things and make things work and come up with ideas. Like he was like, so how are we gonna get tickets if it's sold out? I was like, don't worry, pretty mama.
It won't get weird.
It won't get weird. And you know what too? Because we're gonna move close to my sister. Like my niece is now 14 and very responsible. If we have to go away for an evening, she can come over and feed the cats.
Yeah, but she gonna feed the spiders.
Well, she doesn't need to feed them every day. If we're only going to be gone for,
they might need water.
Well, you just have to show her how to, squirt it in the tub. She's
She won't touch them.
She loves cats. Like I remember when she was little and had like her baby doll carriage, she would put Princess in that baby doll carriage and just.
Well, anyway, the shirt that Neko got.
Oh wait, but they weren't playing. But we love them.
But is Cannibal Corpse.
And does that not look like Edgar Allan Poe as like a skull? I don't know who. Yeah, like I don't know who it's supposed to be, but I was like, I've never seen that Cannibal Corpse shirt, and it's a nice material. They didn't have a large; I had to get a medium, so it's a little twit, but
schmedium.
It's a schmedium, so like I have to work. We. You know what we're gonna do tomorrow? Play racquetball. I will get up at 8 a.m.
I'm not getting up. I keep getting up too fucking early. I need a rest.
You're gonna get.
I need a day of rest.
You're gonna get up at 8 because you get up at 8. I can't remember. We've had one.
My ass was up at 3. I did go back to sleep. I think it was about 5. I said, "Fuck this! I'm going back to sleep."
My ass slept until noon.
Well, I got up at 10 finally, but yeah, I was like, I can't keep doing this to myself, but. I slept with my kitty cat Hazel. She had dental surgery, and so I wanted to make sure she's okay. I get worried, and we had to lock her away just from the other one for a little while. So I stayed with her overnight.
She's still a little groggy last night from the anesthesia.
She's still hungry. She ate. She woke me up. I think it was like a mixture between her pain meds probably wore off, and then she was a little bit hungry still. So I did my duty and did both for her, and she ate it up, and everything was good. So she's doing okay. She's doing better. The vet wanted to make sure she was eating, and she's eating. So
yeah, they've been called and checked up on her, and she's being so sweet and just so cute. And now her sister,
is now offended by her.
She's now scared of her.
Scared
of her. They've been together for not quite a year, but
it's like she sees her and says, "Okay, I know this animal," and then she gets up like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
That's exactly what happened when they were looking out the window. She saw her looking out the window, ran up to be next to her, looked at her and then they touched noses, and then she's like, and hissed and ran away. I was like, this is hysterical because Neko is usually the boss. She's usually kind of like, I'm the boss.
But I think that's part of it. Like, I know we're sidetracked.
I know, but we love our cats, so you're going to have to listen to our cats.
When they usually lick each other, clean each other, they're spreading their scent. Mm-hmm. And so now, because her mouth smells like ass or whatever it is they did with her.
Because she's full of antiseptic, and she actually has stitches in her mouth, but they're dissolvable, so they will go away in a week or two. Poor little face. Oh, and
well, anyway,
she's just happy.
The final day.
Uh-huh.
we have 2 or 3 videos to share with some bands we saw. The first one, of course, is Cryptopsy, whom we've seen a couple times before.
Who was on before Cryptopsy? Primordial?
Was it the final day? Maybe.
Yeah, because we came
Marketplace.
at Marketplace and we parked like at Marketplace, and I didn't know much, and I'm like, I'm glad because we got here in Primordial.
Yeah, it was Primordial because Jason said he had an interest in seeing
So we
them.
stood there and watched them, but we're like really high up, so you get like this whole like.
And that's the only
bird's eye
problem is
view.
we did watch Dismember, but because I was up in the garage area, like I was trying to take video, it was dark, it was too grainy, so I didn't bother. I should have been out on the ground floor for that, but that was a great show for them. That was my first time seeing Dismember, and I really enjoyed that.
But you still get to enjoy it, like
Oh, yeah.
even though we weren't physically down there. And this is.
And again, I would have gotten a lot more shirts, but again, no size is my size. So even at 3X, I would have been like, just give it to me, you know.
But the 3X that you got fits you like a glove.
But anyway, Cryptopsy, we'd seen a couple times before.
We like Cryptopsy.
And they were over at Power Plant.
Ooh, my bangs are.
here
My
we
bangs
go.
are on fire today, boy. Whew. That's the eyeball. Are those like bats on their tapestries? The little tapestries? They look like bats.
What I missed my hair.
Just throw it out.
I'd be bald.
What?
I'd be bald.
Why?
I'd have a bald spot.
You don't have a bald spot. He does not have a bald spot.
Fire tuck.
You can do the fire tuck if you want. I don't think it's a bald spot, sweetie. I think you just keep your hair so short.
No.
At least you don't have a pin.
Now, aside from Forbidden and some other bands, of course, we really have been enjoying ourselves. The next band was the band, I think, in terms of sound. One was very impressive. Two, her and I have been dying to see this guy for like minutes.
Ever.
Again, I don't have the picture on. You see it in our intro where we
Where
dress
is
up
it?
as Immortal.
Where is it? Where did you move it to? So we dressed up as Immortal a long time ago for Halloween. He was a bath.
Yeah, I was a very big bath. It looked like I ate a bath.
You ate a bath?
Yeah. But, you know, we were taking a look from their Call the Winter Moon.
I even had the witch hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you rewind and you look at our intro, it's in there and I'm going like I had the witch hat and the cape, and I'm going and he's going. So we took like that one part where they're running through the forest and then they all pose. So we did that, and we stopped by. It was Halloween. We were such children, and we were adults. This was adults.
But it was fun. We won't talk about what I'm supposed to do next year if we go.
Oh, that is a surprise, and he's agreed to it.
Yeah, I have. Now, Abath, of course, is the former lead singer of Immortal, the legendary black metal band, and he's been doing his solo project for now. I think he just did his 4th album not too long, or 3rd or 4th, and it's very good stuff.
Really good.
So, in fact, bassist, who I'm friends with on Facebook, not super close or anything, but Mia Wallace, she's taken that from Pulp Fiction, but she plays for Nervosa. But she was playing bass for Abath for a little while.
Oh, how'd you meet her?
Just on Facebook.
Just kind of like how you met Norman.
Yeah,
just
randomly, because I follow and I listen to bands and stuff like that. So
that's so cool. I'm so jealous.
But the sound from Abath on the festival was amazing. Like, it came out really, really great.
Like I was expecting more of the.
And you can see her shirt.
Here, I'm gonna move my thing out of the way. So I'm gonna stand up, so you're gonna see my boobs and stuff.
And there's Abath.
But like, it's a bath, but you see like all this around it is going into like a splatter pattern, and it looks like there's like stuff flying away. And then you got these really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on here, you can read it.
Dead Reaver, North America.
And then
Yep.
And then it's got something on the back, so I'm gonna flip around.
Yeah.
So this shirt, this guy who was selling us stuff was
Oh, he was great,
he
man.
was like, "What else can I get you?"
I mean, he's like a fucking drug dealer. He's
I
just
got
like,
what you
what?
need.
Yeah, I got you, Blue. What you need?
Oh my god!
But you know, and the funny thing is, I was like falling for him. Like, okay, I need this. Yeah, I want some. Oh, want that? Yeah, we'll take that too. So yeah,
Well,
I
first they said they had this in 3X, and they're like, "No," and he's like, well, "What about that?" And he's like,
that's all I got.
"That's all I got is 3X."
So obviously, you've seen them with some of my reaction videos for trailer reactions. I was wearing this. This is a fantastic shirt. Very cool too in the hot sun. And then of course the tour dates, which you may not be able to see totally, but
And it's weird because it's not like white, but it's not like yellow.
No,
it's like
it's-
almond.
yeah.
And
exactly.
he puts it on, and I'm like, this fits you perfect. It's like
It's
it's meant
good.
for him. So yeah, when he said that's all I have, and he's like, yes.
But I might have you actually start washing some of my pores and see if it just
see if it
shrinks
shrinks
a
a pinch.
Plus it'll clean them up a little bit.
Well, I do when I wash them though. I don't
That's fine.
dry them. I usually hang them. So
But maybe
I'll
dry
start-
them this time. Just
maybe I'll dry them.
Because I do notice they kind of flare out, and even though I do still have a bit of a pub, it doesn't happen much with this one. So
Well,
Three-
that's a size smaller than that shirt you're wearing right now.
right.
It's a whole size smaller.
All right, so here's a taste of a bath. And even though we couldn't understand half the shit he was saying, some people think he was drunk. I don't know anything about.
Maybe
those
he
rumors.
was.
But dude, they put on a fucking show.
And I was so disappointed how far back I was, and I can't see. And then there's everybody's hands doing it. I still wanted to be close to this. There was no way. We would have had to stand there since you could stand before fitness.
Like the other band, up there, that's all you can do.
Get close for a bath, yeah, and then they would have got us trampled. I was having such a hard time doing it. I was so sad. I was just dying to see him.
Yeah, that was a really, and it's like, even though with the camera phone it doesn't work as well to get the sound as good as it was, being there, that shit was pumping.
We're in
hard.
between two skyscraper type buildings,
And
and the
just
sound reverberating off of the buildings was intense.
Yeah.
I was just too pleased to be there for a bath and Forbidden. Like those were our two big bands for Maryland Deathfest. And what's funny, the year before the previous fest, our big thing was our friends in Nomas. They were opening the fest at Soundstage, and we're like, yes, they're at the fest. That was like our big deal for that year, because we're like, our
And
friends.
Friday we saw 2 or 3 of the members walking around.
And we saw some people from Desolus. I was wearing my
Desolus.
Desolus shirt when we saw Vivek, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was cool seeing these guys. Like, it was a lot of fun. So like I said, I didn't have any dismember video because it was just too dark and I was too far away, but we did catch Bloodbath, who also put on. Now, I think they actually ran into some sound issues over at Power Plant. You might catch some of it in here. I can't remember. But yeah, here's a little bit of Bloodbath. We'd seen them before in the past at MDF. Very great band live. So check it out.
We're in our spot here. We actually are at our little bar. So that's what we're saying. Like, you can sit at this bar, and it's right there. It's the best spot. little bridge above us where they had like VIP seats. And I don't remember how I think some people could buy the VIP seats, but I mean, like Eddie got his all access pass by working for, but there are some people who got VIP, and that meant you could sit up there. But there were some people complaining because they're like, "Oh, there's nothing for VIP over at what do you call it? Marketplace." No, like VIP area. And I actually think the VIP area was that area under the tent where people were sitting at the chairs and stuff, and there were VIP people complaining that it wasn't like close enough. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't know if you saw, like, when we were watching a bath and I was having a hard time seeing, there was the Jameson whiskey bar that they put out. It was like a truck, and then they had steps that went on top of it. And I'm like, I'm just gonna walk up there so I can see. I was just so disappointed because I wanted to see. No, don't get me wrong. I was disappointed because I'm short, not disappointed in seeing a bath.
Yeah, I had to go back and just see who the lineup was because, you know, since the beginning, when you had Dan Sueno and company pretty much start this project in the late 90s, it's changed over the years. Every once in a while they had, in fact, one point they had Peter from Hypocrisy lead vocals on it.
On Bloodbath?
Yeah. But this time around, I think Nick's been there a couple times with Nick Collins from Paradise Lost, so he was probably there the other night. A couple of guys from Catatonia, Martin Axelrod from a few different bands.
Cool.
So yeah, I always have to kind of go back and see who's actually in the band because they kind of change members like underwear. So, but it's kind of cool. It's almost got like a Rogeria type vibe because you can kind of just say, "Hey, I want to be a participant in the next Bloodbath record." Okay, yeah, let's do this.
They kind of do it like, okay, if you're available, I'm available.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those things. So it's kind of neat they can do that and keep the band going. But they have a lot of great material out there. But overall, man, this festival was a lot of fun. I had a blast. But you know, we'll see how it goes going forward, depending on what we do next year.
Yeah, I have to let me go back to my messages. Jason sent it to me. Where is he? Here. Early bird passes for MDF 2025 go on sale tomorrow, which would be today. And he's like, I'm grabbing tickets if they don't sell out first. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm broke right now.
Right. Well, some people I saw posted they already got their tickets and it was sold out already.
What?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did see Nick Anderson from Thralls of Metal there and one of his co-hosts. So nice shout out to Nick and them. We saw them. Seen him a couple times now. We didn't see Crypt this year. You know, Crypt.
I don't think Crypt came this year.
No, he kind of deals with his leg issue. He's been fighting that knee problem for a while.
I think they're redoing his knee, and that's the big issue.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like even for myself, like you saw Jason. I mean, we're both wearing knee braces,
knee sleeves.
I mean, it helps. It helps, you know, because
he's on his feet a lot for work too. So like,
yeah.
The compression really gives like a nice hug to your knees. And, you know, with him, I rolled my ankle like very long time ago and it's still, and I was when I was still dancing and stuff and I didn't listen to him and I did not stay off of it. And it still gives me trouble every now and then. It's one of the reasons sometimes when we play racquetball or when we're standing for a while, I'm wearing like high tops or wearing my boots because it's like taller and kind of makes me.
Top comment for Maryland Deathfest. Anyone have a video of the singer of Volse watching a wall of death saying to spread, then bent over and started spreading my butt cheeks? And he says, no, not your ass in Spanish accent. Yeah, that's how funny Dave is when it comes to this shit.
Yeah, I enjoyed him a lot.
I'm trying to see if they even mentioned any bands for next year. I thought they did.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. He sent it to me.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Sorry. Next year. Already confirmed a braided altar of gore asphyx, which I love.
That'd be sweet. Especially if they do the Rack album. That'd be sweet.
Benediction, Caustic Wounds.
Oh, Benediction's there. It's nice.
Cripple Bastards, Cult of Fire, Dark Funeral, Dripping, Human Artifacts, Camphor, Obituary, Orange Goblin, Nile, Paradise. I hope Niall is indoors. I really do. Paradise Lost doing the Draconian Times 30th anniversary, and Obituary is doing the Cause of Death 35th anniversary.
That's gonna be badass.
Primitive Warfare, Sudoku with a P, Shape of Despair, Skepticism, and Unleashed. More bands will be announced soon. So they've already got like, I mean, come on, we got Dark Funeral, Obituary, Paradise Lost. Like you've got like some big bands who've already. It's enough to entice someone to buy tickets right after.
I just wish that Paradise Lost was doing Gothic and Lost Paradise. I wish they were doing that stuff instead of the Draconian Times. I didn't really like that record that much. But I'm not mad. I mean,
well, it was like when we saw Iron Maiden and they were doing the entire Seventh Son album, but did they not disappoint? They played everything.
They played all the hits.
Yeah,
so.
They played the whole Seventh Son of a Seventh Son album, but then they played I mean, it was. We had Alice Cooper on for an hour. He did all the hits too, and then he did his little show, decapitated himself, and did the whole the riding crop. But then you got Iron Maiden. They played the whole album, and then they're playing, Number of the Beast. I'm trying like. Blanking out all of the good years. All of the great Iron Maiden songs that you wanted to hear. So maybe you'll get a couple of hits thrown in there too. But
well, anyway, if you have any comments, you were at the festival, what'd you think? What were your favorite bands to see? Did you get to meet any of your members of some of these bands? Let us know your thought on the schedule for next year.
Are you planning on going next year? I mean, like, I think, just my opinion, especially, I'm 99% sure we're going to be in a different state next year. So we're going to have to figure out like lodging, etc. And I'm also almost considering staying somewhere like closer to the airport and then just zipping downtown on 295 instead of trying to stay super close, because like super close to the fest sells out, and because it's downtown, it's just like
everything be high priced,
and it's the Hilton, it's the Marriott Renaissance, which is a very nice hotel. These are all expensive hotels where it's like $200-300 a night. If you're staying by the airport, it's like $130 a night, and literally by the airport you take,
because they got a lot of people just passing through.
Yeah, and you go like straight down 295 right into downtown. It's very easy. I know that.
Or you can just go down 97 to 895 and then
295 is easier, because I used to do that to get to my mom at University of Maryland Medical Center.
I know it's easy either way, but
so like it would take at most a 20-minute drive, and it's a 20-minute drive from our house. So we're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna see what happens.
Maybe you guys got some suggestions.
Yeah, maybe.
Some of you guys come out from different parts of the country.
And I heard some horror stories about people booking Airbnbs and getting canceled on in the last like week or so. So, we're gonna figure it out. I really hope. I hope we can do it next year. I can't guarantee that we can do it next year, because I don't even know what I'm gonna be doing next year.
We'll figure it out. But let us know your thoughts, and we're glad to hear from you. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content.
100 likes, you get to see me topless.
Yeah.
Has it
just
happened
put
yet?
out my top 5 for the week. It's a little bit later than usual, but it's out there now, so check it out. And we'll see you next time on the Metal Time Radio Podcast.
Peace.
Just before you die.